steel, iron, and cement, we don't tax you because it bring up car and people road. What did happen? They begin to abuse the system. We are in now. The people that they make their road there, they go make their brand, they open shop there. When they build cement, they get the cement for tax free. Then they go put on a shop. Then they sell the tax, the cement, and then they make profit.
Yeah.
So that's what that. This government now we can now blanket pass and they be wrong because if you don't look at something, now we ban the put in the cement and other things.
Yeah.
They want to put in the brick on a boost them. As not run by case study.
Yeah.
But the government can now because of them people you are using like blanket, it was wrong.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm going to revise them and I'm suspend. I'm going to revise them and make a cement and things like this. But they don't the idea of parliament. I'll make you don't want it with parliament, whether on the SFP or APC or they understand.
I absolutely agree.
Yes. So this law, I made them go revisit them, and everybody says that this one. But indeed, they abuse the system.
Ben,
people make money out of it.
Ben, this is a very beautiful contribution from you, and I believe say the entire viewership will agree with you because you are absolutely right. You are spot on, and that make now the premise then of the question. So the rush to judgment now in the issue. It's not like there were no grounds for them to have done it. But just like you say, you've made the case, I can't make it better than you've done, but I really appreciate that. Thanks for that contribution. Thank you. So yes, just for add-on, because we look back and then the forward, you know, the sackings of diplomats, many people will almost have forgotten the scenario, what happened, how it came about. Professional staffs were fired and replaced by non-professional staffs at their jobs. And you need for look at the PPP, the MCC, and SLETI. Remember SLETI? It still does exist in some sense. The extractive industry. We've been there under the auspices of the chief of staff. Okay? And that job they be scrapped, which by extension became that of the chief minister, the office of the chief minister, because everything else now is under the chief minister. So whilst people from those offices were sacked, professional people then, with the PPP, the MCC and SLETI, but yet still some other staff were still working behind closed doors, which does not all go well. Remember, the assault on the Freetown City Council mayor, let's not forget. These are realities, they've been documented, they're not going to go away. It's part of the history of the country. And finally, Mr. Kamara, remember the eviction of a judge from his vehicle whilst he was on his way home from work. Were these not all telltale signs of things to come? Are we really surprised, or should we be surprised by what is really going on?
Not at all, because people like who be on the talk say their actions they are so will lead we who saw so they like today. You know, their actions there, and this like you say again for the man the most tute. But look like say again for the most tute this time. Because they read this, your law be small and not be get sense. Where Albert Magai take over after the late Samuel Magai. Where the late Albert Magai take over. Now, enforce begin do that one, they will get good civil service in that country. But it was dominated by the Creoles. So, but where it can, because of you want use your support base, it not make like your support base plan. It just kind of pull the Creoles and try for put in your support base. Since that time, now we this civil service begin collapse. 30 years, and the same thing this administration can do back. Bring on people them just no more because okay, that now this now me they support. Let pull on and nobody support me now put a wire. So even though these people are not get the expertise and not get the experience, you just bring them kind of more inside. And that's again ramification because they're not going to perform the duty when they're supposed to perform well. And it affects the government, it affects the country. You know, and they arbitrarily pull motorcar by this wire, discourage people sack people this way, and it's all parts and parcel of the political situation. When like you say they create a political instability in a country, and where I be saying also they're all interrelated as well to the economy. When they do the action there, say nobody but no say the action there, then they stand alone on themselves. They are all interrelated. You know, the politics, the economy, everything is interrelated. So one thing they affect the other thing. And we see them because we don't talk about them over and over and over again. I don't know one time we will discuss. I will tell you, say, even after the election, I will talk saying for institute a judge-led commission of inquiry into the post-election violence. Many people them they oppose and say what's in this. Now I say no, I say because maybe they did. And I don't know if Apoku election in a SaLone day, the post-election violence way I see this trip, it's too much. I said then this is not good because it set precedent for escalate and escalate and escalate, and it's not good for the country. I say
Okay.
it's very important to set them up. Make the inquiry go know whether the victims, whether the perpetrators. I say, but foremost important for put mechanism in place, make it not go happen again. You see, for the learn from mistakes, because being a human being, we will constantly make mistakes. But they say person no call person in food, but when they make the same mistake over and over again. You see, so
Okay.
we need to learn from all lengths here. And unfortunate because we be talk them, we be upset it not go happen. So, but look what it happen now. You see,
Right.
and now unfortunately this world pandemic don't come, and this don't enter our country. We just pray God make it not become widespread because the situation of people they go to right now in the country with this pandemic again come and tap. If this become widespread, can you imagine? It could be unbearable. Look, then there's how they make that 3 days lockdown. So Monday, where come on that door, one day night they go fancy for eat. So you go there for the 3 days that us, it's nothing. Not a big problem. Then you get some overzealous security officers then where officers and say lockdown and lock up. Where before say no for come on a room again for lock the room where the place warm, lock
Okay,
yourself.
okay, Superman. I mean, this is an unending topic, and it can go on and on and on and on and on. I've got Ben on the line before I let you go. I don't know whether this is for you or it's for Alfred, but of course you've answered your final question, and I really appreciate that. Ben, you're live.
Yeah, this was Superman. Before Superman go, first of all, I'm sick of the commission of inquiry. Tell Superman say it's not our
Superman,
I know you're clear. Yeah, what you say?
please repeat.
There was post-election violence, and I don't want this to happen anymore. I create a commission of inquiry. Then because I was Beck Davis, no, it's Moses. This is Moses in the commission of inquiry. They create at that time there was somebody when the SMPP at that time when they call Abuja trial, they will be guilty of. They find they guilty, they hold and say they abuse, they never ever give them a government position. And remember, that was for post-election violence. After that, the same Alex Roma way, he give Busa Tawali position there, he make all everything. So, for let's compare it and say, if this thing never happen again, now, because even
So you intimate say that there will be no end to this. It will be a revolving door, in as evil as it is.
I'm very tired of partisan, but there's one thing I believe in. I'm not gonna tell what the sister very situation. But me only contention one thing. I don't see comrades as genuine people there. That's what I believe say. If you consider for people go forward, they will still continue to do the same mistakes because they're not paying for their sins.
Okay.
Let me give you an example. Now, all of a sudden, they say this sack. I will tell you honestly, I'm not a man, but I'm telling you where at the school, the first failure, I know what who they employed is substance everything. The last 5 years of the school, in jail, they begin to substance and they got that they job them. So it was natural for anybody didn't know say what SMB come, then they put nothing as in a government. Because if and SaLone, nobody wants to keep up with this.
So are you saying that the last 5 years, the people that will be the pool and the job there, it be related like regional or tribal? Is that what you're implying?
Oh yes, I can say with fact because I will give you so many names there.
Okay, Ben.
We have got problem now. We as a country was okay. Then we create a transitional team for Sierra Leone.
But that's what Supermed is calling for in effect, Ben. That somewhere has to stop.
If you win election today, you will not talk about government until after 3 months. So after the transition period,
Yeah, but you just chastise a member of the panel simply because he called for waiting. Finally, you recommend so. He said that's what he's been calling for. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
That anybody in win election, you will never become president of Sierra Leone after 3 months. There's a transition period.
Okay.
After Europe, everywhere in the world. Why would not get government is smooth transition over? But instead, the middle then they destroy the other person. Then before don't claim the supporters the way they are put it. Well, that's the only way we put that.
Ben, we need for begin get a like minds, and begin for prepare for the journey home 2023 for go effect that wonderful third force, a real force. Not that one way you be there, and they talk about real, sustainable, viable, feasible, people's third force. You feel me? Ben, I left you. Time to catch up, and I need for I get a few questions for Alfred. Thank you very much. Superman, thank you so much, for your time tonight on the program. You've been absolutely fantastic. My brother, please come again and again and again. I cannot stop having you on this program. Your contribution is highly, highly gratifying. Thank you so much, my brother, and look after yourself.
Okay, then thank you very much. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right, let me turn my attention to a single phone now. Thank you for being patient, Mr. Sankoh.
That's okay.
I got a question in there for ask you, but I need to move on, and I want to be tactical and strategic. So my question to you right now is a question where I deal with yesterday to an other apparent economist or economics. But this is it. This particular economy where we get now in Sierra Leone, will you care for tell audience what is it based on and what are the current challenges where this particular get now? Will you please?
Absolutely. But as you know, I've been patiently listening to Mr. Benji and all talking about the last contracts them where the past government been signed. I mean, you can come back and ask, but before I go to your question directly, you see the problem where we get that we country, people waiting, Mr. Benji simply they try for say is the past government don't kind of like cause for make investors in the Canada country. The question is, you see, I like for the example. Mr. PK, within the UK, we all see just before the election, we see the struggle where Theresa May in government be the struggle where it be say the pounds was kind of like literally on a nosedive. The moment where Boris Johnson win, we see confidence come back straight away now the system. How on earth, hello, Mr. Prince, are you with me?
I hear you loud and clear.
Okay. How on earth, Mr. Benji, they can tell me, say, as a result of waiting the past government be not built, now I make investors in the camp in this country anymore. The question to Mr. Benji, waiting this government don't do for change the mindset of the investors, then they will disappear. And waiting people that they fail for realize that this, there is kind of like a trade-off between risk and reward. Waiting make us say so now because of like people that they talk say the past governments be go sign bad deal them, the past governments be go sign already a contract with I don't forget the not to SL mining that one we super be kind of like Kergo na SaLone.
My mines?
No, oh, what's his name? I don't forget now. Like the one we super.
That's all right, but what I want to let you do, Alfred.
Yeah.
I want you forget. I mean, Benji is soon going to call again because he might agree with something. We'll go on and on. So let me just address the issues.
Okay.
So go back to the question, which is this particular economy as it is now. What is it really based on? And if there are challenges, if you will agree that there are challenges, what are these challenges? The current ones, I mean.
It's I mean, Mr. Prince, like there is a huge challenge where EB say in fact, for the last month or two, I kind of like they predict, say, it is too late now for this government, except maybe since they win the next election, or maybe they could change. But the reason why I say it's too late, and I don't want kind of like I want to make sure say I answer the question specifically.
Yeah, straight and short.
You see, the problem with this government now, the fact that they want based the economy from like tax collection. You know, I can always pull one parable na me audio them way I can say, me papa can say where you want call alligator na water. You call her omore until it come out na door. Now they tell you they call her a real name.
Yeah.
You know, this is not the problem we I beget with Just Made yesterday. You know, like Just Made, you know, emphatically they criticize the issue of debt. This government don't kind of like focus so much per revenue generation, like they destroy the fabric we all the economy. You know, people when they talk about say, I see Just Made talk say 2 years is not enough for make the current government be able to turn around the country. The question we Abua asked her yesterday nowadays, it took Kagame. You know, then Just Made, they make one point yesterday where it talks say, SaLone been there under recession in the past government. Oh my days. I wish I would get chance for show the public this net. SaLone been the grow at 3.8% when SLPP take over powers now we country. So when Just Made talk say the country been there in recession, that was a very disappointing statement for make a make. But I don't want kind of like go into that. The point where I want kind of like drive to now is this. Just Made also talk say debt, like the country be get debt like so much so that
Mr. Sankoh, with all due respect, should not make this a segment, you know, here about that the Just Made thing. We'll give you a chance to. I told you I'm planning something between you and Just Made.
Yes,
so
I know.
I know you will have a go because I'm beginning to see the interest, you know, in either side, and we'll try to see whether we can set up a box in match. But I don't say you try for address some things, but using it as an example.
Yes. No, by the way, I'm not. Yes.
Just Made this weekend.
So yes,
I don't want that. Let's just address the issues.
Yes, I'm not drifting at all. I'm not drifting at all. I'm trying to drive to the point where, like, people feel the reason why we can't see because we focus on the wrong things. Like I'm talking about, you actually ask me, say, why waiting like the thing if not the wrong thing that the government they focus on, which is one of the things in our revenue generation where they focus on, then they destroy we country. And people are going to say, oh, wait till you they talk. You know, like people are going to talk about like the debt, the issue of debt. You know, like the UK, we debt now 80% to GDP. We debt to GDP now 80%. The America is 129% debt to GDP. China and 159% debt to GDP. One thing they way China be actually pronounce it as part of their fiscal policy for reduce the debt. You know, say China growth begin slow down because people see and say China no reach now that 0.8 of the life cycle for when they begin paying the debts them off because it deter growth straight away. But this is not the thing. For make a government they focus on revenue generation. Like the example where I want to give, the country that will get the biggest economy in the world, not only get the biggest revenue to GDP ratio. Why I say so? Now, because I just want to prove the point, say revenue collection is not the answer to like revenue to a country a successful growth path. Because the moment you want to focus on like revenue generation from the small base where you get, it means you destroy the country. Because I mean, like I can say this. I just don't want kind of like the technical layer. They get
Can
one.
we be a little bit technical?
Yes.
Let's get it.
Good. They get one thing when they call like the paradox of drift or the paradox of savings. Waiting that they mean, waiting that they try for tell we, in the try for tell we say, when a country they in trouble or when a country they go through recession, like you get for discourage for make people they save. In other words, the only way they come out of that situation they now for spend into the economy. In other words, allow inflation for kicking. Allow spending for make people spend. Basically, waiting this theory they try to tell you, in the try to tell you say, if people let they save, in other words, like in other words, when people let they save, they spend into the economy. And the only economy where they grow, the economy where kind of like the boom, that economy where people are ready for consume, the people are where they inside the country ready for consume. But waiting with the see now this now we country right now. The government so they focus on tax generation, revenue generation, so much so that they destroy. As I talk to you right now, UNICEF, WHO, WFP, where they give free medicine in that country, right now they get tons of containers them where sit on our key because the government they ask them for pay 15% tax of the worth of the goods them where they inside the container. So this is not the problem where we get now we country, but people do not see it. They feel say, I mean, you will see it with a clap for the government say, oh, like we revenue to GDP don't kind of like increase. But when you they fail for realize you they kill the base, the tax base now the country. And this now waiting the affect we country seriously.
So let me ask you one critical question.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is
sure.
This economic, I mean, this tax base where we talk about, where potentially solution, according to you, is focused on revenue generation. So therefore, it kill the basis of the economy. This solution, you're looking at it from far and wide. You mentioned the United States, for example. You mentioned China, for example, and Britain, for example. My question here is, the solution, now one solution for all the same problem there, or could it be different solution for different kind of economy? I hope you get what you try for drive at. Because the reason why I ask this, Mr. Sankoh, is then developed countries there, some of them where you mentioned the United States, for example, they get the luxury of printing the real money. They can print out money, whether not quantitative easing and what have you. They can do that. We do not have that luxury, do we?
No, Mr. Praise, of course we do. And even
1 minute, there is a new caller. I really want to wait in this caller get for say.
Okay.
Hello, caller. Identification and where you calling from, please. Yeah, and you call from London, sir. What do you want to see, or what question will you ask? Fire away, please. Is it for the panel? Roland, just stay right there. I get interference. Just stay right there. Stay right there. Stay right there, please. Okay, go ahead, please.
I want to comment on something where you guess and just be talking about. Way to me, I think with no disrespect to him, but I really think it is honest.
Yeah, go ahead, please. That's what the program is about. As long as it's mutual, consensual, and respectful.
Announcement at the studio, and they claim to be someone really from. They actually try to blame the government. The government solely basing the economic policy on tax collection for the revenues of it. To me, it just gives me the purpose because let this guy actually tell me he said that on which area which the government actually raise funds in this country. It's mainly not on taxation.
Well, I mean,
I want to let people understand any country will not strengthen your tax policies. Another policy you're bound to pay.
So first of all, Roland, hold on 1 minute, please. It seems like there's a question and a statement to follow. So why not pose the question and see what the answer is, and maybe you can do the follow instead of.
No, I just want to address the issue. They cannot deal with this point. We don't raise already because it is blame. No,
Yep.
It is blame. They blame the government. They blame the government. The government don't pay on the part for make the able get because they too much.
Not happening.
Generation.
Exactly. That money is the premise where they make.
Yeah, you don't agree.
Yes, I don't agree with that. And one, the fact that they blame the government is failure, it is on the fact that they're not getting the current country, right?
Yeah.
Get policies the way the government may not introduce or we make the country not just go forward. But if I can bring that man back, although not so issues and this will get for refer back to waiting we don't have for your program is about then and now.
Absolutely, please feel free. Exactly.
We refer back to waiting we don't have for, we leave it into where we did now. Right? They just concluded commission of inquiry, which I believe is privy to. Tell we say the government will just promote the power. They actually get corporations and advance from Sierra Leone, when I be one of the most valuable companies in the country. Right?
Oh, come on.
So if you get the government,
Wait, where are you supposed
corporations
to
that's what you put from
not telling.
you meet the government already collect that in. Where are you going to start from?
That's
That's one thing. So if the current government will now, one of the areas we then think about the regulation.
I just want. I was thanking you. Wow. You really thought. I was scoring there, you're scoring there. I got 3 goals today. I'm going to get 10. But it's your turn to press animations, bro. Go, please. Well, it's supposed to be.
So shall we give him chance for the response, because you definitely don't agree with this revenue generation. They destroy the basis of the economy, and you compare it the way you make now. We then develop country as a whole. The revenue generation. So let the man explain the basis. Shall he?
Pass it to me and I'll score for you. No.
Hold on, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, I think you heard
Mr. Roland, you see, certain thing the way I they say, I get like the question the way our
Roland, the interference they come up from you because I sure say they watch the program simultaneously. So you might not hear me clearly because you still there on the phone and they watch the program simultaneously. So there's interference. So probably you can lower your thing. I don't know whether on the same phone and it's on the same phone, obviously.
Okay, good. Mr. Prince.
Okay,
good. And please stay online, Mr. Roland, because these are the kind of questions that we are like because Boku people and they be deceived. The question that way I will ask Mr. Roland, you know, you compare the UK and SaLone. You know why? You know, they kind of like I talk about something where I talk about life cycle. Because like we did at that life cycle bottom where it's like we did on a growth trajectory. In other words, we don't reach that level it for make tax become we main source. In other words, if you see the parable where I talk about, for make we able attract investors there right now. Now I want to give you one parable. If you just open business, then you get competitors them around you area outside you open business. For make you able kind of like attract people that we already don't do, where they buy to certain people. For make you able do that, you kind of like they put the same price with the one that we don't meet now the market, or you kind of like they reduce you price for able attract the people and they will already don't get the people and when they buy to. This is a question now I will ask you. Answer me then, and I continue now for answer your question.
Okay, Mr. Sankoh.
Yes.
You're
yeah.
talking about barriers to entry. If
Yeah.
you want to invest in an economy where you already don't meet,
Yeah.
already get your competitors.
Mm.
I believe if I can get you right, that's what you're going to ask.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So answer you precisely.
Yeah.
If they enter to a market and
Yeah.
you already don't meet people in that market,
Yeah.
basically not get for come and the point inside the day.
Yeah. 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 No, I listen. Yeah.
Get million share of the market. How am I going to get that? On the strategy, the way I get for bring in, or I get million market share.
Yeah.
I believe that that's how you can come on.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you want me to come inside now?
Absolutely. Yeah. So you want me to come inside now? No. So now I bring you back to the point where you be done, and the premise will be done there already, right? On the basis of this establishment, something where you talk about, yes, I agree with you. SaLone not reach the stage inside UK, right? And that is the tax.
What are you doing?
I believe you know that.
Yes. Yeah.
Ada, coffee, please.
I think in a play up, Mr. Prince. Something they play up and it gets Roland anymore.
Okay, so you can come in now.
I think I missed most of the parts, like the last way I hear you say, Roland, you say you agree with me for say yes, like, but I kind of like missed most of.
You can come in now.
I don't, to be honest, I don't get the way you say entirely.
What did you say, Mr. Sankoh? You hear me?
Yes, I hear you, Mr. Prince.
I agree with you on the fact that no, I say I agree with you on the fact that SaLone, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Mr. Sankoh, Roland just try for repeat.
Yeah.
Where they struggle, if I can put it that way.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If the government don't come, we don't look at who side we don't come on. As it stands now, the only mining companies that we buy from another country now, that's Sierra Leone. You don't come out there anymore if they of the past. Yeah. London mining or whatever, they don't pull up. And Judiciary company or Judiciary group or whatever, if you don't delay you examples them all, they're not in existence anymore. The only area now where the government really get for raising money, not through taxation. So I don't really think say if anything wrong is the way how they go about for raising tax. The only thing way wrong is this full of people are coming from because politics is divided. I believe that's the only digression from this whole thing.
Okay. I don't get your point, Mr. Roland. Like, and at least a happy way be say tell you get the point to say at the come out from for say tax na in the destroy we country. But the other point back where you make about say no other source of revenue.
Okay, hang on. Let's stop speaking over each other. Roland. Mr. Roland, if you hear me, I mean, now you they cause all this problem because you watch this thing. Turn your volume down to 0 because you're on the telephone. But Mr. Sankoh don't clearly get you now, so he's about to address your issue. Yeah.
Tell about give me a tissue, please.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Sankoh, I think Mr. Roland get the point now, so you can go ahead, please.
Right. Okay. You see, Mr. Prince, like, I'm happy way you ask that question because most people where they sit down, and I know I use the word sit down because it sounds rude. Most people way kind of like they get this idea and they feel say collecting tax is a big thing. Of course, it is a big thing. You see the point where it talks say we don't lost so many companies there as a result of like company they operate. So the only source of income right now the tax where the government they collect. No, it cannot be. The only source cannot be tax revenue.
So I hope say you didn't get that because the man just re-emphasized that point that the only source cannot be tax revenue because there was a direct accusation. So now the man they try for rebut that accusation, and I'm just moderating. I just want to make sure say the channel they flow. Go on,
okay,
please.
so this is the point. For make Mr. Roland and what I can say next, it even can frown more because in African setting, we don't see that as a true kind of like financial policy. Because we know too well, say, if we try for increased tax now we country, we discourage investors then for come. You know, like we discourage like even people in spending power now the country. We don't actually kind of like they create for make people are able to spend into the economy. So this is the thing. It also make, before I can join all waiting it talk together, it also makes say because Rutile pay corporation tax in advance. In other words, like this government don't lost corporation tax from as a result of the policy where the past government adopt. But this is the thing. And I don't want to go into corruption. But when you look at waiting they go on now with country, Mr. Prince, the other option where these governments get now for build with political stability now with country, build with reputation, and then guess what we forgot do? We forgot take debt for finance the short-term shortcomings of the government. This therefore raised another big issue with Mr. Roland back because, and why I say so, I make the point about China earlier. China, for the position where China reached, China had to put themselves into huge debt for when they get to the position where they did. And up till now, people and they predict say China not get to the peak of the life cycle 8 for make them begin pay the debt. So as a result, China, about last year, so the back end of last year, China, their fiscal policy, one of the policies, the economic policies, that they say they want to begin pay the debt. As a result of that, the economy begins slow down because people then say, the investors, the economists, they begin to say, China not reach that level they ate for make them begin to pay the debt. China still need for the take debt for make them able to reach their potential.
So the slowdown of the Chinese economy was not as a consequence of this coronavirus. It was as a consequence of China beginning to say they want.
No. That was before the coronavirus. It was before the coronavirus. China begin to slow down because China make a policy say they don't become too indebted. They want to begin to reduce the debt. As a result of that, the economy begins slow and investors, their appetite begin kind of like they die down because of that. The reason why I make I say so, SaLone, we get, waiting they make, we don't get water, take today now we continue. We won't wait until we go fend that diamond before we get water. Waiting we they fail for realize, I mean, then get this economic policy. As long as your growth rate, now your country, is high, pass the interest rate where you pay on your debts there. It means that debts they are feasible. That is the basis where people like you always they look at. So if we don't get water now we country right now, where it be say we able to provide water for every household. That debt say where we go take for make sure say every household get water. People let they begin get water and begin pay water rate. And guess what? As a result of us implementing the water system in the country, it creates employment in the country. People will pay tax from that money they back when you use for. So in other words, you they take now people like you normally say now money you they take stone. Now money you just
it's about job creation and people
of
get
course
paid and then money circulates around
exactly
and then
the economy boom.
Around and around.
Thank you very much. So like he say the only option where the government get now for collect tax, this is not the biggest problem where they affect the country because SaLone we don't believe the problem where I get with debts now we country. For instance, and I go back to Jasmine. You know, when you look at the world, in fact, this not to me say, go to World Bank, the website. It says something about SaLone. It say as a result of the road them way we make now we country. It said before we make the road them, it says they take people for transport the agricultural produce them 20 minutes per kilometer. It said
now according to
World Bank.
Yeah.
Again on the website. Go there.
Yeah, I've seen it and I can complete that chapter there for you. Which
thank you.
In order for them to make when they make their road, then they of course the commuting time cuts down to I think about 2 minutes or 5 minutes.
Thank you. Now 2 minutes. 2 minutes. So the problem where we get now as a country, that 18 minute savings where we don't get. How do we monetize? How we turn that 18 minutes into money? This is not the problem where we get now we country.
So the infrastructure has been laid down. How would they turn that into money to gold dust? That's what we cannot do. We don't understand.
Exactly. Okay. So if you go take debt for making them, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't say you did in your element. I can see that you're all charged up. Unfortunately, we seem for the out of time. This is why I have to bring you completely for a one-on-one show. We go run to something like 2 hours because it's just a question and I give you a chance for let you flow in.
Absolutely.
Because this is what you're good at. But I sure say you don't address Brother Roland in question. That and it's clear that a government cannot only rely on revenue collection for consolidate intact, in economic base. That's a no. Okay? No. There are many other things that we can do with feasible, sustainable, and far better than just relying on revenue generation. Because if it were true, then obviously this economy will be booming. Because the emphasis there is as simple as that. Thank you very much. Let me move on to something else. Mr. Daniel Watson, welcome to the program, my friend. Yeah, this is Salonomics, but there's a little bit of Westernomics in it as well. The next question I want to ask you, Mr. Sankoh, is yes, we get all them blame there, which we ascribe or attribute to the current government. But the question, as usual, always, because I can one thing say, external factors they mix as well. Now I'm not an economist, but if I sell something where I depend on for generate money, and that thing they lost in value at the international market, that means the economy is susceptible to shock. So would you say this is not part of the problem as well in this economic situation that the country with their country find itself in? Let's say diamond art for fair now. So we talk about the diversification, put emphasis on other areas like services, for example, which I believe is one of the things that we do job creation, pay people pay tax in return. So money just stay all around from January to Christmas. Everything is fine. But then commodity they will depend on for sell outside, the price dip, so we suffer as a consequence. Will this also have an impact on the economy?
Absolutely. You see, the only thing we may not go agree with now this. You see, I can always make reference to the term where commodity price be kind of like go down. For me, I blame the government, or maybe not the government, but the company them will be the one. Their Wood Island, all the iron ore they are. Now they may be blamed. You see, Mr. Prince, when you kind of like they in you peak, you get for make sure say you edge your position. You see, for instance, I can give you an example, like right now where the oil markets don't kind of like nosedive, so as we talk, you get certain company then they where they don't edge their position. In other words, you go and tell you go arrange with a bank, tell say, I want kind of like pay you a premium. If this oil price ever go down below $20 per barrel, that difference you always they pay me back.
Yeah.
Waiting with government and the company they be faithful at the time, they don't actually edge with position. They be always feel say this
will always be Christmas.
Is they up. Exactly.
Yeah.
Business do not run like that at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get for prepare for war at the time of peace. This is not the problem where we governments be get. You see, like waiting to destroy Africa and SaLone. The question where I want make we ask we say, Africa, we get the youngest population that the world.
Yeah, which is money.
That is money itself. In fact, like it's a huge resources.
The Western powers are looking for that left, right.
Desperately. Like now, China is worried about their aging population.
Yeah.
Waiting Africa, they do. You know, this, and by the way, this now me just they think hypothetically. Even the coronavirus, we don't take advantage of it.
Yeah.
You go ask me why. Because you see, like I don't want to deviate, but one thing where are the project right now, as a result of this coronavirus, globalization get for kind reduce. We go get for kind of like affect Africa.
Absolutely.
But the confidence right now and it will affect China. So waiting.
Them.
Yes, Africa but don't take advantage of this thing where it be say we the kind of like make sure say we show the effect of coronavirus, make it not be too serious. They're saying it now. We get the young population. Why companies like Nike? Why companies them like Apple cannot trust Africa for better go put factory in Africa? Is that a question that we've always asked ourselves? We don't ever ask ourselves that question. It not take degree holder for make crepe. It not take for make you get degree for make you able help for make like the case where Apple they use. No.
Or make mask.
Exactly. No, exactly. Thank you. Exactly. Thank you very much. It doesn't take degree, but what thing we they do now we country, we always they talk say, oh, education. And they go back to Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe are the most educated country in Africa, but have they got the economy?
No.
Because they focus too much on education, they cause instability in the country.
Because it's education.
Yes, then they destroy the political stability in the country. So the education not show up for nothing. This is not the problem where we get now we country. So the question when you ask about say, oh, because the commodity price depend on like the world market and all that thing. I mean, Mr. Prince, if you want pick up, please feel free for pick up. Anyway, like I don't.
Now two people and they call me straight away. Roland, they try for call you back. So I'll give Roland the opportunity. Seldom call these days. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see what he's got to say this time. Mr. Roland, you've got the floor, please. Hello, Mr. Roland. Yes, you've got the floor, please. You are barely audible, except I translate the message for you. I don't know whether you can speak up a little bit louder. Me to get you. I just want to make sure, say, Mr. Alfred, they get you question directly because I should say the question for him, not so. No, from the look on your face, no, because
No.
it's low. Anyway, let me just take a note of what you want to say.
Yes,
go
exactly.
On,
yeah,
need to listen.
Yeah.
Roland? No, not at all. You barely audible, my friend. I don't know how you speak so tonight. Yeah. Me they hear you, but because you line very low and it on speaker, normally it's louder than this. I just can't figure out why. Are you on like earpiece or something? You on loudspeaker as well? I keep telling you, say you Sankoh, I didn't get you because you're too low. Come off you loudspeaker because I put you on loudspeaker. The normal connection where I can use directly into the system for letting the guest get you. It's not working today. Okay. Yeah. Sankoh, you mute there or you mute.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, I did.
Hold on now, listen. You hear any chance? Hold on, go on. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Not exactly, just a quick one, not exactly, sir. I don't know whether you see under the board, but it's just a continuation of the midterm report of the government of Sierra Leone. And in the process, we are talking about economics, the judiciary. It's a mixture of things, yeah. We don't lost you again, Roland. What are you up to, man? Wait, you read from the book of Psalms or waiting? You know waiting, Roland. You stay right, and they can't put you direct connection on phone. So Sankoh, they get you clearly. Just stay right there. Don't touch the dial. Don't touch it. Do not touch it. Right? Do not touch it. Do not touch it. Yeah. So now in a minute. Okay. Now go for it. Mr. Sankoh is going to hear you clearly, I believe. Alfred, are you there? You're going to hear Roland clearly this time.
Yes.
Yeah, go on, Roland.
Yes, Mr. Sankoh. The thing is, when I normally can categorically, I normally can say the government of Sierra Leone, they lay emphasis on all within they do is they lay emphasis on revenue collection through taxation. That's not so that's how they try for say. The program we Prince get on today, they have to wait then and now, and waiting why make the economic crisis in the country just the worst thing, if I can go briefly by waiting a quote. Yeah. So maybe they try for say, one of the immediate short-term programs that the government gets in place for able to raise money, natural taxation. And I don't think if there's anything wrong with that. When you look into the country, the only businesses that we get in the country now, with government cable get taxes from, one of the mining companies is Sierra Leone. And government will rely on Sierra Leone alone for make them able to do them programs there. which I believe say yourself no. The examples that they make, linking, China, Zimbabwe, or whichever country is there, SaLone not reach that stage yet. 9 minutes program is about mid-term. It's not a full term. I believe the princess will tell you, say, mid-term is not a full report we are giving. In the immediate terms, waiting we get now we deal with. So to me, for answer your question, we not get to blame the government on so many of the lapses that we don't show or the inadequacies that we make. You think say they really know they go to the right direction. I believe say they are trying. And the only thing we are available before them now, natural taxes. And by emphasizing on taxes, I don't see anything wrong on that side, because that is what every country they rely on. I might be really coming from a different angle from your side, because more of yours today is more of theoretical, because it's not applicable to SaLone. In theory, it is there, but the practicality is not there for now. We have to be realistic with things.
Right.
So that is my contribution towards your last
Okay. Okay.
Mr. Karimu, read from the horse's mouth. We have to go to the extra mile just to make sure that you get it loud. And so
Yeah.
I think it does sound like a rectification, but I will leave that to you. You want to say something on that?
Oh, yes. Good. You know, I love the fact that when you come back, that is exactly the point I was trying to make. And you know, Mr. Roland and Mr. Prince, again, I asked you a question. Do you remember when Boris Johnson did the campaign? He says something. He said if he win and then the UK were to leave the Eurozone, he said in the ready for reduced tax massively. The whole point about tax is not the end. Tax is just the means to the end.
Right.
The problem and the reason people criticize Donald Trump before the coronavirus, the American economy they grow massively. You know why? Donald Trump come and reduce tax. A country where they look for growth, no, they increase tax because you feel say this now the way forward for make you able lock the loophole them. No, it would not work. You know what Donald Trump do? In fact, the deficit, America deficit, it reached 1 trillion under Donald Trump because enough focus for collect revenue, rather a focus for grow the American economy. So, but what they do, the same thing apply to the UK. You can't, like Boris Johnson make it clearly. He say if the UK, remember when UK they left EU, Baku company there be the plan for exit. So his strategy was for keep una, and because I know say investors then are people that will like money, are always at a reduced tax for una massively, so I will able to attract una na the country. How we for attract? You see, waiting people that they fail for realize, you cannot attract any investors them by increasing tax. You can't, let me forget about investors, then let me talk about the people and the indigents of the country. If you increase tax, you starve them from spending into the economy. Now, this make a pull up parable say, you know, like people, now this one thing first, this message where I talk to Mr. Prince, now the most complicated thing where I can always talk about na SaLone, because the SaLone man, it always feels say, now when you collect tax, now they make you country get
Can I do allow pause you there?
Yes,
we've spent so much time on this, and although the basis of the question, which is waiting this economy based on, where according to you, Of course, there are disagreements, which is why so powerfully, you know, therefore explain what is the economy based on, what are the current economic challenges. So it's based on revenue generation, and according to you, it is wrong for the basis of the economy on revenue generation. So the current economic challenges is just based on this focus on revenue generation.
Yes.
So I promise you, we are coming back soon. In your sleep for explaining this thing.
Yeah.
Because I guess at some point, your emphasis did have some influence. We make Mr. Roland to have come back for clarify in position. Because yes, you did shed some light on that. In the meantime, the chat room is very, very interesting. There's a guy who disagrees with you, and Ian and a sister called Adama, you know, you're having a nice conversation inside the chat room.
Oh, really?
Okay. But they can carry on because it's civil, and we entertain and encourage that. Part of the things that I believe we talk about doing for help the economy, other than just revenue generation, would be like the diversification process, I suppose. How to transform the economy, value addition, focus on services, okay, or improving services, focus on agriculture, fisheries, and so many other things where you can generate money from as easy as A, B, C. Why is this, or is this not happening, Mr. Sankoh?
There is a very, very simple answer to that. And that is political tension. You know, there are other subsidiary issues there. But like the main answer to that is just political tension. For instance, when they talk about tourism, the question I will ask you, and it'll be very extreme, Naya, would you decide to take your family to Syria right now?
No, no chance.
And this is a very extreme because SaLone not reached that stage date. But the point where I try to make, the most powerful tool where any politician will ever offer to SaLone, now for keep the atmosphere peaceful in our country. You know, I always can say this thing. If SLPP really want to kill APC for a very, very long time, but putting them there where they do, like that parliament where they go for speaker, where they go pull the 10 parliamentarian. Listen, this is not me saying it was correct or wrong, but you know, investors therefore be like about that, therefore be see and say, oh my God, a country in Africa where it be say Africa so unstable, a country in Africa, the executive, they want thing for the practice real democracy. The executive is controlled by one party. The parliament is controlled by another party. Yes, this is the chance where we get, because we trust, say, at least they go better past the other country in Africa, but we destroy the greatest opportunity where we will get. How we go able to increase tourism in that country there? We talk about the agricultural produce there. You know, how we go able to increase the agricultural produce there where it be says and term we health system there in shambles? Why it go back to the point where they talk about revenue and tax collection and debt? Why we not go able to spend into the health system for make investors them and people away with the export we goods them to trust the health system? Why we don't go take?
How do you invest? How do you invest in the strategic things that we talk about infrastructural wise, which supposed to happen anyway? But the country seems to be so much cash strapped that and not seem for able for carry on these basic services for its own people.
Okay.
Everything Santa Claus. If you provide ambulance, it's a huge celebration. if one ambulance, before I say 50 ambulances, if you provide school buses, now almost like a holiday in the place where you go pull school picking and come on a school and put them inside the buses and parade people school picking up and down the country. I mean, just like I say, it's just like a Santa Claus kind of thing, celebration. The mediocrity just seems to get more and more, in which half-baked people say they know, and social media don't come make them worse, in the sense that you will not to accountant, you think you're an accountant, you can argue about figures about somebody who is
absolutely,
because you will not to political pundit and analyzer or what have you. You will possibly spend 16 in a classroom, whether a nurse, doctor, or what have you. You get the audacity, for challenge them. How are we going to make a break from this, Mrs. Paul?
Simple answer to this, but where answer don't I kind of like tell the only thing where we country need for spend into health, for spend into like basic thing them, Mr. Prince, we don't need for wait for Diamond. We need for wait until Dr. Jibao collects tax then our country. You know what we need? Now debt. How these debts they come? There is, oops, sorry, I just cut off my. Hello? Can you hear me? Okay. How this, no country never go take debt where you unstable. So this, you see, any government was serious for make SaLone. You know what they do now for build like stability now we country where it be a number one priority in stability. Stability they come with everything where a country need. First of all,
so the opposition party is being accused of not cooperate. They help for create that unstable climate way absolutely necessary, which you are speaking of, where investors then they watch, where then go watch foreign country then like Britain, the US, big Western countries them. Their website and their foreign office website as per travel advice. But fingers are being pointed at the other side saying you are helping to create this instability, this enabling environment.
Okay, good. You see, Mr. Prince, like me no one go to the rights and wrongs as to whether the opposition party willing for that. But the number one thing we me know about that one where the greatest opportunity we will be get for the parliament being controlled by the opposition. That particular thing, when I see him, and then Madabio win the election, I was like, you know what? This is the era we've been waiting for too long. For make that thing change completely back. You know, in fact, for me they change them manually, so you know what investors in they see we like, they say, oh, dodge it in the way this executive want to now make them do so. So just that, they destroy the appetite completely.
Absolutely. I think the audience will generally agree, because now that make in the 2-year period for create this report card, for create the assessment, the evaluation tool, the indicators, we managed to go back, here to was it March 31st and the assumption of power in early April, and subsequently look at things. Although now I saw most of them, but it'd be necessary for that we sort of reflect on the past, on the then, and we can come up to the now, which I mentioned earlier on this program. A justice driving home from work, being taken off his car, which was really, really terrible.
Absolutely.
The how you go call the parliament, the abuse of parliament. Allow police them for going inside the wells of parliament. The injunction of 16 or so APC officials them are supposed to the APC injuncting 32 SLPP officials. The result for the injunction for 16 APC people has already taken calls. Who's been suspended is been suspended. Yet up till now, as we speak, the injunction of 32 SLPP parliamentarians has not seen the day of light. And many other things. So of course, it's easy for points to those things. You're talking about the creation of the environment they can't invest under such conditions. So in that case, you will expect people, for sort of stand up for something when they believe in is completely wrong. Because of time, I think we roughly get 12 more minutes for this program.
Okay.
And I will talk to you in camera, so we'll plan out a new day where we will talk about this economy because there are many people of interest. And this is 3 hours long. Remember, we'll plan on 1 hour 30 minutes for two of Una. Anyway, back to the economy quickly. One question I want to ask you about the economy, despite the blame, but we have some critical question like what we say, the economy can be susceptible to outside influences, to outside shocks, which we agree on. For something that I'm sure this government, will have laid down some structures in place. And if we go agree, say, transformation can be cumulative, it takes over a period of time, then obviously there might be a reason for hope. I don't know whether you see that small light if you're inside the tunnel where they give you hope, say, well, something then at the end, or na still darkness, now you they see.
I believe some people like boss can cost me and tell me off.
No, yes, so now straight on, and we don't cost now. This platform, no one.
Okay, you see, Mr. Prince, I said earlier, and with a very disheartening mind, I would say, except miracle happen, but as slowly they believe, say, it is too late for them first 5 years. And somebody go ask me why I say so. When a sober-minded investor want come now a country, then no one can invest for 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. Because most of the investment go require like a massive injection of like a huge capital requirement, which I mean like money, they will get for buy plants, them for go whatever way they want to do now.
It's going to take over a period of time.
So they don't want go invest in a country for 1 year, 2 years. You see, this is not the reason we make a talk say we country that parliament where they shake. Because then for me see and say like peaceful transition of power again for take place. So if even I invest over 5 years, 10 years, like me investment safe. So I mean, economists them or financiers they get one thing when they look at. I believe say I don't mention that before, where they get one acronym when they look at SLY. The SLY na SLY. I mean, this is not the way when they prioritize the investments then. Firstly, the S stand for security. In other words, if I go invest on side, waiting at the tendency say me investments will ever be lost. The other one, now liquidity. Like, in other words, if I want to exit the market, somebody there will go ready for buy that thing there from me. Then the last thing when they look at, now the yield. In other words, the profit. This is not the mentality of investors. So we country, Mr. Prince, look at yourself. If you not money, you're not money man anyway. You get money.
I wish not even cannot sign the clause. Thank you.
Yes, but you want to invest. I mean, you go see and say, you know what? Okay, Maggie extreme, other extreme. If you look at the UK, Russia, they get oil. Russia big geographically. They're big past the UK. In fact, Putin can refer to the UK as this tiny island. Why the UK economy bigger than the Russia economy? You know it's in they need a joke with? The judiciary. No. They need a joke with security, investment. Look at I give another extreme situation. The tell when July 7/7 happened, you see the stock market kind of like go down. The time when 9/11 take place, you see the stock market go down because investors they need a joke with security. Even the coronavirus, as we talk right now. In fact, gold price now in they go up in the market. Equity price they all they go down because investors are very very greedy. These are stingy people. Right now they all they run for go buy gold because they see and say the equity market is there in shambles. Look at the stock market everywhere. People are.
Of course, I just got about 3,000 wiped off my investment Because
exactly.
I don't put on something where you talk about earlier, like
Yeah.
when you talk about the kind of scenario, you go, you hedge, you bet, you pay
Yes.
premium to the bank. Should
Exactly.
anything happen in any shop?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah.
I that now.
Well, exactly. But anyway, you see, this is not the point where at the same. We country are the suspect say a really dull it, except we make like a serious U-turn. Let me forget about the European. Let me go to Kenya. You remember when Kenyatta and Odinga or something like that?
Odinga.
Yes, when they get issue. I strongly believe, say, if Madabio really ready for call peace in that country, they go do one. Odinga kind of like Kenyatta. In fact, Kenya are one of the big economies in Africa.
Absolutely.
The man decide, he say, please, let we come back for the sake of the peace of, because if Kenya be kind of like we resort into turmoil, Kenya economy for me finish. This is not the thing. SaLone, when we ready, we say we get almost youth. You know, I can see some certain video the way that they make fun about it, and they see the youth man the way they pass behind the video. I can nearly want cry. I say, look, money they waste. When the guy they pass behind, and literally at the same time, look, money sit down now. In the past that run money they waste. These are resources.
Yeah, Alfred,
yeah.
I will have to move to the final question for tonight.
Okay.
You've done extremely well. This is 3 hours of video. Famulem, we will therefore split this video. We're gonna YouTube later because I will make a 1.5 hour each because for Sidon, although the conversation very interesting as per the contribution of some people. But for Sidon, you watch 3 hour video, of course, but in money I can make you watch something if you're interested. I'm interested in them. And I also don't be attachments na the big una go there, una subscription na free, na just the number for an attempt at reaching 1,000 this new week between now and Friday. Certainly up to una. You can't get 3,000-4,000 people, you get 1,000 subscribers. So please, I ask una, please click on the attachment where they take una straight to my YouTube page and una subscribe to my page and una share as well, please. Thank you very much. This is my final question to Mr. Sankoh, and this is something of interest, which is about obviously the Auditor General report where you don't speak on countless times. The reason why we come up and make the very final question on this part, all-important program, now because now a different element are they look for this time, which is obviously we get a constitution of the country. And the audit report, as per my understanding, because I've been frantically the search for research materials, them and verifications, like yesterday's program, call 1 or 2 government officials, no response. Ask 1 or 2 SL officials, no response. Frantically look for there was help. The understanding, and this is on whether that we get a constitution, the fact that the auditing side of things in the country meant to go and report to Parliament. I am a bit lost as to why Francis Ben Kaifala seemed to be the champion, and I hope I get this right. Seemed to be the champion in which not one and they carry this report to, because it's supposed to report allegations of corruption, obviously, but it's supposed to go through Parliament first, and the Parliament will determine who that for invite and take forward from there. And then this 140 billion worth of black hole. We take today, we know deal with this holistically for close this all important and significant show, please.
You know, Mr. Prince, the audit report was a complete disgrace to we country and this government, especially where we be say we open rest on this government for fight corruption. As you rightly say, I listened to Francis Ben Kaifala. He actually be make him in press conference where he say he no get the right for do anything in the wait until Parliament go look at it. He be actually say in a defense.
Right, we cannot listen to that press conference.
Yes, because I did listen to it. It did say that. But the problem where I be get inside it be try for kind of like talk about few things where he say. I'll give you one example. If I remember, I'm not sure exactly the page number anymore. I think it's in page 63 of the audit report, not Romans like page 63. I believe so. But between page 58 and 63, I think that page 63 of the audit report. Then we talk about Ministry of Finance, where Ministry of Finance, about 798 billion been disappear because of salaries and all that in it. To me, you know, I was so embarrassed for this guy where he be say, he come and talk at the press conference, say, he say Sajusu, when I in the financial sector, he say Sajusu be don't go report the case to him. Then, to my amazement, he says Sajusu be don't report this case to him months and months ago. But look at it. When you go to page 63, now the audit report, I'm pretty sure say are correct. Under like Ministry of Finance. Until we say the Deputy Financial Secretary, Matthew Dingy, he say Matthew Dingy tell the Auditor General say, the matter, they don't already produce the documents then to the Auditor General. This is not exactly waiting the Matthew Dingy tell the Auditor General. He tell and say, well, we don't get the documents already for you, ready for you. So in other words, Matthew Dingy in your mind, nothing no day will be wrong with that. But the same Francis Ben Kaifala, the ACC boss can tell we say, the financial secretary don't go report the issue of corruption to her. This is not the problem where I get massively with this guy because, well, so I will kind of like rephrase. It's either be say Matthew Dingy, when the Deputy Financial Secretary, lie to the Auditor General, and that is a sackable, and not just sackable, it's a criminal offense. Or Francis Ben Kaifala lie Pawi. So this is not the question. And when you talk about the 140 billion, when you talk about, you know, like I make like an audio extensively talking about this. There gets a rule in accounting where tell you say, because when the SLPP they say APC, now that 140 billion, they disappear now the 3 months of APC. In other words, like between January to March 2018. But Mr. Prince, there gets a rule in finance where tell you say, if error or fraud take...
Hope you're live. If you don't want to contribute, I will call you. The show will end in 5 minutes. I will give you a call back. All right then. Yeah, go on, sir. Sorry for the interruption.
It's okay. It's okay. So a tell we say, the rule in accounting tell we say, if like a theft, a fraud, or a material error take place between like the 3 months after the end of the year, so let we say like APC thief that money day in March 2018. And remember, the audit report for 2017 and not come out till December 2018. If APC not be thief that 140 billion day, the Auditor General, as part of a role, supposed to treat that 140 billion day as if it happened inside 2017. This is not the rule in finance or in accounting. It make it clear to you say if fraud take place between the time, like they get what they call post-balance sheet event or event after the reporting period. Now then this rule tell you what? It tell you what? I mean, I don't want to bore you and begin the quotes, the accounting standard will tell you about that. But this not specifically, so if now APC been thief that money day, the Auditor General be supposed for don't put some inside 2017 audit reports. And the amazing thing, they interviewed the Auditor General at 98.1. I think that Khadija directly asked him, say, listen, it said that 140 billion where everybody they talk about. He said, Usai it disappear. The Auditor General make a categorically clear say, oh, now inside this government it happened. Clearly, go look for that interview there back, may you check out. And this was way before I actually make this analysis about the audit, about the 140 billion. And you know the weird thing back where it happened? People in the talk about like the education, people in the talk about like this 140 billion. That 140 billion is nothing. One money they when they give somebody for go buy, book them for the free education. Then they don't give the money like in November 2018. The auditor be they draw they do a conclusion about like Ministry of Education in September 2019, where they try for finishing audit report. Imagine them, we don't give them people their money in November 2018 up to September 2019, when the auditor be they draw a conclusion on this matter. Then people are not buy the books them for the picking them na the ministry na the free education program. And then get a law where tell you say any procurement is supposed to take 2 months for when you deliver the thing the way you procure. So who side their money then they go?
So good question. Very good question. That was a fine question. If you can take a minute for address 2 quick interjection. One, what in the heck did they do? Has she come out, for address some of them shortfalls there, Madame Lara Pias, then short comments there where we talk about within this auditing, because so many space don't left unaddressed, which they feel, your speculations and rumors and the rest of it, as opposed to the reality. Has Madame Lara Pias actually come out, and she hasn't yet? Waiting really they go on, because this is a story we don't follow for quite a long time. And now that we get you here, you can spend like 30 seconds here for wrap up the program, please, will you?
Yeah, on a very like easy answer, as I say, it been done at 98.1. Yes, she came out and say, like, I mean, of course, like the audit reports, like full of almost pages, them she cannot talk about everything when it be done at 98.1. But yes, she came out, and the question the way they ask her specifically about that 140 billion, it make her clearly say it was during this government. So she did. And also like because the audit reports will also go to parliament as well. But you know the other thing where I want to point out to Sierra Leoneans then, Mr. Prince.
Yeah, please.
Now the accountant general now with country is supposed for them produce the account for 2019. The deadline where it be supposed to get now be March 31st. Yeah. So it's now the people in the parliament supposed for them request that account day, because that account day now in the auditor general get for use for audit the country. So that account day for them be produced right now. And the parliamentarian is supposed, because they are stakeholders. We are stakeholders, but they are representing us, because the accountant general will give me every copy. And until the figures they not be audited, they're not going to publish them. So right now,
yeah, now you're not accountant, yeah. Then certain things then, such as what we talk about this last minute, here on the show.
Yeah.
Inside accounting, accounting principles, there is the nature of time when submission, because it run over a period of time. So therefore, certain things need to be done within a specified period. And it seems like in this case, this is not the case. Will that be a correct characterization of the current misanomaly when they go on within the auditing department, government departments?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that, because me not know actually if the accountant general don't produce the account. And by the way, it is not an accounting concept or standard. It is the country in legislation.
Okay.
The accountant general for produce 3 months after the end of the year. So in other words, for 2019, the accountant general will get up to 31st of March for produce the account, where the auditor gets for audit. And then the constitution also say the auditor gets up to the 31st of December for release the audit report. So now you can see most of the time, the auditor always they issue the audit report in December.
So what happened then if the audit report, like in this case, there so many holes, a redo with so many redos, does that make the report not authentic, and will they have to go back to the drawing board, or then accept the report and begin for doctoral? I mean, I guess you get a kind of question at the time.
Yeah, well, this not the thing. This not the thing. The reason why I make a public to the people in a SaLone about the accounts for them be prepared by the accountant general by the 31st of March. Now, because there is a huge chance of this report being doctored. And why I say so, I listened to a deputy auditor general. We talk say most of the auditors they right now, they go work for the government of SaLone. And there is an audit standard we tell you say, certain level where you did as an auditor, it's supposed to take you like 3 years, 5 years, or even 7 years, depend on your position, before you go work for the clients where you audit. These are all things that we get for kind of like they take into consideration. Now, the only safeguard way we get for men are not able to doctor this, now for make we go request or like the likes of Cherry Coco, the Yum Keller, the Honorable Lamina, for men to request the accounts. So when the auditor finish in work, if there is any difference between waiting the accountant general loan produce and the auditor, then people are get for ask now say, waiting now can explain the difference to we waiting at the difference between waiting the accountant general.
From the way things are going, from the way things are going, the names that you mentioned, which are the parliamentarians who we get it right.
Yeah.
For retain papers and then documents and they have you got any optimism at all?
To be honest, me and Apostle will not get any contact with any politician at SaLone. And I thank God for that, because I don't want to be, I know they say person talking to someone would sway me, but I want to make sure say where they talk, I feel free for talk waiting. I want to talk, well, not to waiting, I want to talk, but waiting good for the people of SaLone. So I expect KKY should be able to do it. I expect Cherry Coco for don't do it, because he was like the head of public accounts or something like that in the parliament during the last time, because I think deputy speaker automatically it makes you like the head of like accounts, public accounts or something like that in the parliament. So I suspect he's supposed to know that. But I mean, and they're supposed to know that because he didn't have the constitution. So the need for go request that kind of information there. So at least we go able hold the government to account.
Okay. One final. I keep saying final, but this is the final of the final. Yeah? The 140 billion leones black hole.
Yeah.
The reason why they ask you this again, because some of us who cannot figure out, because a technical document to many respects, we can read the language, but most of it is kind of technical.
Yeah.
We don't know who to ascribe the blame to. But when this black hole, which now exists, whose is it? Is it then or is it now?
You break up there, Mr. Prince. I did not catch your question.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hello? Okay, you can hear me now. I say this is the final. This is the final question. I keep saying final, but this is the final of the final.
Yeah.
The audit report, of course, is a technical document. We can read because we can read English, so we can read them. But there are many things inside the way we can't interpret. And I got confused as to whose ownership is this one. In other words, the time where and the 140 billion black hole will exist in this particular audit report. Whose responsibility is it? In other words, is it the then or is it the now, if you know what I mean?
I make the comments before, say, not just saying I'm me the talker, but I get the backup of waiting the audit report say, and I kind of like analyze waiting how accounting the work with theft take place, like 3 months. So if the government claims say it happened between the 1st of January to the 31st of March 2018, then the auditor be supposed to include them inside 2017, because remember the auditor do an audit report for 2017 in December 2018. So if we don't put that inside it, so that's not true. So to answer your question, it is not then, but it is now.
Okay, Mr. Sankoh. You've been absolutely marvelous. I just want to thank you for your input, your perspective, your analysis is spot on. I'm sure the wider Sierra Leonean community, we are talking about the many and not the few. And from the indicators we can see, you're prominent on social media, your voice is well known out there, the way you articulate things, yes, people can come and dispute, but you speak with evidence. And this is what we are talking about. We're talking about factuality. Yeah, your opinion does matter, but it doesn't make it right. You have to make a submission. You have to proceed. You have to back it with references. You have to back them with gravity. This is what Abba has done today. We sat through almost over 3 hours of talk. And I'm going to bring it back very soon because we can't stop talking. And we not get two, the one thing we get. So even oppose, and not me say we wish bad for the country. Now, please let me understand it. We started off with the background where now the main bowl, now Sierra Leone, the national stadium. And the reason why is normally when I talk for the people. I am by the people, I'm with the people. And most of the guests, if not all of them that appear here, are for the people, by the people, with the people. And tonight has been no exception. This particular stadium, this main bowl, now a national shrine. We've used it for many, many purposes. Now they will cry, now they will laugh. Now they will all bury, now they will flood victim then go. Now they will go watch football. So like I say, now they will cry, now they will laugh. Other countries then celebrate something they call squire. This is the equivalent of we own squire. And so all the martyrs, those who sat there, may your souls rest in peace. I was there back in the late 70s, early 80s when it was built. My mom worked there. I went there, sat there when the concrete was fresh, when you could smell the hostel. My mom was the head of the catering department. So I'm kind of emotionally attached to it. And because this now a national shrine, I want to pay that homage there, respect, and want to make it known. This program tonight is dedicated to the people of Sierra Leone. Much respect, Mr. Sankoh.
Thank you.
Earlier on to you, Kamara. And people will now stay blessed. The coronavirus, of course, this now a real, let us not take them for big joke. Let we listen to authority and make we apply, common sense. Because yes, of course, it's a killer. In time they come, we go affect a lot. Sierra Leoneans, them, this is just a fact. Of course, I can't wish evil in my own country, but we have to brace for difficult times that are coming ahead. Darkness is looming. This is just a fact. Okay? Let's stay strong, stay safe. I've been your host and presenter, Prince Emil Krumah. Please don't forget for subscribe to my YouTube channel. I need your support. I need about 1,000 subscribers between now and the end of Friday. Carl Washington, Zainab Sharif Bangura, my dear sister-in-law, Lucy Derry, Gali Dowd, you all have been fantastic. Andaman Mabu, Daniel Watson, and more. On a good night to all. Thank you.